Welcome to Shonen Flop Chibi, a First Impressions mini-episode where we talk about the first chapter of the series we'll be covering in depth next week. I'm Jordan, and with me today, as usual, is my co-host, David. Say hi, David.
Hi, David.
What series we covering this week, David?
Oh, man, get your karate gear ready, because we are covering Neru, Way of the Martial Artist, where I definitely almost called it Neru, Way of the House Husband several times while I was writing my notes.
I really want to call this Neru, Way of the Samurai myself.
Yeah. Yeah, what kind of martial arts? Primarily has sword fighting, but we can definitely get into that when we get into the plot summary.
Oh, martial arts is an umbrella term. Could be anything.
He's gonna fight someone that uses an umbrella.
Maybe it'll be an MMA thing where, he's got to fight boxers and people trained in, Krav Maga and shit like that.
He just fights a bear at some point. That's not one of my guesses, but...
I hope he fights a bear. That'd be cool.
Oh, fuck, there was a game. Shit, its name is escaping me. It came out on the original the Xbox 360, and, I just was watching a really great video where it's about you play as, a detective, and you have to fight, a ton of, drug dealers and homeless people or whatever, and it's very problematic
Condemned
setting.
Criminal Origins?
Yeah. In the second one?
No, I don't know much about it.
You encounter a bear. And so I was watching an LP, and this guy thought, it's it's gonna be a crazy dude wearing a bear, mask or something, right?
Yeah, no, it's a bear.
It's a fucking grizzly bear. Just fucking shows up in the middle of this dude's house and starts chasing you.
That's awesome. That rules, actually.
It's definitely the best part of that game.
That's a pretty good part, though, to be fair.
Oh, yes. It's in the upper echelons of just fucking crazy ass. I wish they made a third game, actually. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nah.
I don't know. I heard that second game wasn't as well received.
It was kind of barren. Very grisly.
Oh, shut up.
All right,
God.
I'll claw back those jokes. All right, let's get into it. What the... Jordan, do you mind telling us a bit more about what we're reading today?
Yeah, so this is Neru, Way of the Samurai. Oh my god, I fucking did it. Holy shit.
Way of the House Husband, you dumbass.
Oh, this is Neru, Way of the Martial Artist. It went for 18 chapters and 3 volumes, and it is by Minya Hiraga.
Awesome.
Yeah, all right. You want me to just go into the fucking plot summary?
Yeah,
I guess there's nothing else to say about that stuff.
Yeah, but we're going to have a lot to say about this plot summary.
Oh boy. Neruma Neru Isami is a boy in middle school who doesn't have time for fun or schoolwork because the only thing he cares about is training. Raised in a remote cabin in the woods, Neru spent most of his life being trained by his grandpa in the ways of martial arts. Now that his grandpa mysteriously disappeared, Neru trains by reading from an ancient manual that the old man gave him. Neru and his friend Okuta rescue a beautiful high school girl named Akebi. Neru runs off, but not before accidentally dropping his fighting manual. Popcorn David.
Akebi goes to Neru's home to give it back to him, but discovers him rewriting the book from memory on rocks. She attacks him, which Jordan neglected to mention, are with fucking swords, despite the name of the series being Way of the Martial Art, and they spar, thrilling Neru, who hasn't had anyone to train with since his grandpa disappeared 2 days later. No, wouldn't it be 2 days prior? Because it would later.
No, 2 days later. 2 days after that, Akebi and Neru run to the martial arts dojo. That happens
I'm sorry.
afterwards.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I missed the period. My bad. That's why I was wondering why 2 was capitalized. Okay. 2 days. I legitimately thought you were saying the grandpa disappeared 2 days prior, and that's why I was like, that doesn't.
Oh, it was 3 years prior.
Yes. Okay. 2 days later, Akebi and Neru run to her martial arts dojo, where Neru can finally meet other people who like martial arts like he does. Jordan, this is kind of reminding me of Beast Children to go into First Impressions, where the dude just kind of wanted to tackle someone all the time, and this just I just want to fight someone.
It's so funny that you have that reaction, because I actually liked this chapter. I mean, I kind of disagree. I mean, for one thing, yeah, he did just want to fight someone, but, he actually then fought someone.
That's true.
And, he didn't suck at it. If the kid from Beast Children, wasn't that whole thing that he actually fucking sucked at rugby and had never done it before?
Yeah, he was complete horseshit. It was really just a metaphor for his repressed homosexuality.
That's what it felt like, at least, yeah.
Oh, it definitely had a humongous homosexuality metaphor in that series. And I just remember they didn't play rugby till chapter 12 or something.
At least we fight in the first chapter of this one.
That's fair. No, not really with martial arts.
Well, again, martial arts includes stuff that you do with the sword.
Ugh, fine.
Martial arts just means, a way to fight, I guess, and it often has different kinds of weapons, David. Come on.
Fine.
Aren't you some kind of, martial arts expert? What the fuck?
Just because I own 8 katanas.
You got the cool rainbow katana?
I do, yes. But after battle, it only shows one color. Red.
Nice.
Rachel, please, for my birthday, don't get me a bunch of katanas. This is a joke.
Rachel, this is me, Jordan. Get David a bunch of katanas, please.
My mom called me and she's like, David, I know you want a new camera for your birthday. What camera? I'm like, no, you really don't want to know how much it would cost to get the camera I want.
No.
Just don't worry about it.
Oh, David, I knew you wanted a new katana for your birthday.
I gotta protect my virginity somehow.
I need the Sword of Sephiroth, please.
I guess I do have a wall long enough for it. I just looked up and I was like, I guess I have a spot actually I could put. I actually do have a pretty good spot I could put a sword in my apartment. Anyway, though, Jordan, I feel like this is going to be an ITLC where we disagree on the quality of the series, because, yeah, I was not a fan, but why don't you tell us why you liked it so much?
I actually really enjoyed the art for a lot of it. I mean, it was iffy. There's definitely some panels where, like, yeah, that looks weird. I think the way that he draws Akebi is kind of weird in a lot of places. But I also think that the lines are extremely energetic when they're actually moving and fighting. I really like the poses he has there. I really like how he draws action, actually.
Really? I completely disagreed. I thought the action was not well drawn, and sometimes it was just confusing. Like, third or fourth page when he's kicking a guy, I couldn't tell if he was kicking him multiple times or he was doing like a roundhouse kick, and it just wasn't drawn very well.
Oh, I thought he was just doing a roundhouse kick, but I mean, I see it.
You can see it looks like his foot is connecting on multiple parts of that dude's body.
No, I see why you felt that way, yeah. I also I think it's really funny how the first thing that happens is that Neru is supposed to fill out a what I want to be in the future test, and he's like, well, I just want to get strong. Mm-hmm. I just want to train and stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like the series didn't really waste much time. It moves pretty quickly is where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it knows what the series wants to be about, but I mean, like, I just didn't find it that interesting. Like, plenty of other shonen series where combat's a big part of it, but they actually have like an interesting story. Well, this is just going to be a filler plot to make people fight.
I don't know. I don't think that's true. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting. You have this character who he's been completely isolated from everyone around him because he's just so obsessed with fighting. And his grandpa, who has been training him, who he looks up to, because he's just so strong, has just mysteriously vanished. So now he's just kind of all alone in this world where, like, nobody understands him and nobody connects with him because he's just, like, doing his own thing or whatever. And then finally he meets this girl who they fight together, and they're having a great time during the fight too. It's very much like there's a lot of like romantic kind of subtext there, where like he's like, oh wow, finally this is somebody that I can actually connect with, and you're telling me that there's more people like you? That's amazing. So I don't know, I kind of found that to be somewhat of like an interesting character motivation,
I guess. But I don't know, I just found like nothing about this series like really just caught my attention. Like I don't know, like I thought the art was just okay, the plot wasn't that interesting, and actually I thought the art was kind of bad at times. Like, you've seen the proportions of the female character, and we're already chapter 1 having upshots.
Oh yeah,
they could have added a lot more to this first chapter to really grab my attention, because like it's all set up to the interesting part, but why would I keep reading then if there wasn't anything in the first chapter that was even interesting?
I guess it really just depends on, do you enjoy the fighting? And I enjoyed the fighting, and you didn't.
Fighting just wasn't drawn very well to make it seem exciting.
I just disagree with that. I mean, I think there's a lot of dynamism to how these characters move.
Also, one thing I thought was a little weird is he complains about no one wants to fight him, but why couldn't he just join like a martial arts club at his school?
Well, clearly he's way too strong, and maybe there isn't one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a pretty standard club at Japanese schools. So they could have at least shown him,
he seems like somebody who's just completely disconnected from everyone around him.
Yeah, but he has his friend who seems to be a normally adjusted person.
David, how would he not know that there was a Japanese dojo anywhere? It's Japan.
That's true.
It seems like he's just somebody who is so in his own world that he's completely oblivious to absolutely everything around him.
Then I would say that's lazy writing. That's just an excuse plot to
is
say,
that lazy writing?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that fits the character, though.
It means the character was, I would say, abnormally too stupid, and the fact that he has a friend, though, that could have pointed this out, they also don't explain that. Why didn't his friend take him to a dojo? Like, they could have had just a simple thing where they show him getting, like, banned from a dojo because he was, like, too strong or something. Like, Aishimon did that, where it's the same idea where a character is too strong to fight normal people, but they literally show him going to a gym, breaking equipment because he's too strong, or breaking someone's arm in, like, a boxing match and getting banned from a boxing gym. It's the same idea. They could have just shown that. And then that explains, oh, why didn't he go to X, Y, and Z to try and fight someone to fight?
I guess. I mean, you only have so many pages to work through.
Yeah, but this was bloated anyway. Like, his friend didn't even really need to be introduced because it brings up these questions. He could have just found the girl being beaten up by bullies and saved her, instead of his friend telling him. That's easily 2 or 3 pages that they could have gone back in this pilot.
I see your points. I think that they make sense. I just, they didn't really bother me as much when I was reading it, because I was more interested in, like, the character interactions and stuff. But no, you make some good points here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really did think this was cool where, the whole thing with his grandpa, because the idea that it starts out with is that, like, even though his grandpa is getting older, he's still getting stronger.
Yeah.
Which is why Neru is so interested in that, which, I don't know, I thought that was kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah, I loved his grandpa. Grandpa's best character.
His grandpa's great. Well, also, they give him basically just a how-to manual, like how to learn martial arts, essentially, which a part of it that I really liked that kind of was really interesting to me was that, like, it looks like it's covered in text, but actually that text is little drawings of the form that you are supposed to take when you're doing martial arts. I thought that was so cool because it explained, because they mentioned, like, his grandpa couldn't read. So it was like, it made sense to me, like, oh, okay, that's how you can learn from it.
Yeah, by the way, if we didn't mention his grandpa is blind.
Was he, or did they just not draw his eyes?
I'm pretty sure that was how they were supposed to show that he didn't have eyes.
I thought that was just hiding his identity.
Oh no, I thought it was like he just didn't have eyes.
Oh, I don't know.
Imagine if he, like, wrote it in Braille and someone's like, bro, this is, like, in Braille. You can, like, just read it.
I don't know. I kind of took it as, like, a metaphorical or thing where he just didn't have eyes, but...
Understandable.
Oh, I also really like how Neru is, like, so in his head that, like, he's obsessed with fighting and everything to do with weapons that, like, he saves that girl without even, like, being aware that he saved her. He basically nerds out when one of the bullies fighting her pulls out, like, this, ninja knife or whatever.
Yeah.
And Neru takes and he's like, oh my god, this is so cool, you have this? And, like, him nerding out about it freaked the bullies out so much that, like, they basically left. Like, I thought that was cool, and I think that ties into his character and shows and demonstrates, David, that he's somebody who does not pay attention to his surroundings and is completely in his own head and misses obvious things. Like, wow, this girl is currently under attack from these 2 bullies that I should help her fight. But instead, no, I'm just focused instead on this tiny, minute detail, completely ignoring all the context around it.
That's one interpretation, but I just feel like the surrounding elements just, like, yeah, there are some okay parts, but it really sacrifices a lot of logic and things that could have been interesting about the series to have those kind of ideals.
It just doesn't bother me in, like, a shonen manga. Like, a lot of this is kind of like a setup, is similar to DBZ, like, or Dragon Ball. Like, his early life is very similar to Goku's early life, where he was, like, raised in the wood. I mean, I'm sure that this character is literally based on Son Goku in some way, you know?
I mean, here's the thing. This feels like a product of, like, the mid-2000s, and the standards are just way, way too high for shonen nowadays for that to be fine. You're right. If in, like, a Dragon Ball Z era world, this would have been a fine excuse plot. But nowadays, there's a lot more critical thinking that people really challenge the ideas of series.
Right, you got things like PPPPPP, and, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta compete with that shit.
You gotta compete with that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jordan, though, I'll take it you would read in our 10 chapters of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know what my answer is, so do you want to go into guesses? Oh, actually, I just realized we did this order wrong, but whatever.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like jazz.
Yeah, it's about the segments you don't do.
Yes. So, Jordan, though, what are your guesses?
Well, my guess is I think that Akebi and Neru get romantically involved. I think that that's pretty heavily foreshadowed here. I don't think that Neru will get along with most of the people at the dojo. He thinks that he will, and I don't think so. I think there's going to be some clashing there. And the last one is I think that the grandpa's immortal. The grandpa might be Buddha.
That's pretty cool. Those are some good takes, especially the romantic one. I think that was a good call. So mine are, I think the grandpa's going to be the final boss. I think his best friend is never going to get good at fighting, so he'll just be like a cheerleader the whole time. And that I think they're going to introduce like a really dumb power system.
I think those are all good guesses. I don't know if they're going to do...
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know if they're going to do like a power system, though. Shit, they fucking might. So, David, what is your power word?
My power word is thin.
Thin, really?
Yeah, because all the characters were drawn like really weirdly thinly proportioned, and the plot is also very thin. Yeah, I thought that was a good power word. How about you, Jordan?
Mine is energetic because I felt like the action scenes were very energetic, and like the series itself has like this energy. Neru has this like energy to him that, you know, is very shonen.
You know what? That's fair. And we'll see, though. It definitely has a chance to improve.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I'm looking forward to recording our main episode with Dylan on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And then you ready to go to the Q&A?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, Jordan, we got a question from, you know, legendary fan Victor, who says,
Victor!
Do some canceled Shonen Jump characters sometimes have Christmas parties?
Golem Hearts does not.
Golem Hearts or the guy from Red Sprite?
Exactly. They do not.
I think the lady from ITLC is the most likely Shonen Jump protagonist to host a Christmas party.
The main character?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And she gets everybody like presents that they wanted, but in order to know that they wanted, she had to do like extreme deep like stalking to just discover what they were looking for, and it actually creeps them out.
Yeah, it's like she wiretapped that conversation with my mom so she knew what type of camera I wanted.
Exactly, yeah. See, I really like ITLC.
Yeah, it's a fun idea. When I went through the Shonen Jump list, that author has another series that we could cover.
Ooh.
So we can definitely, when we get through that list, we can talk about some potential series that we'll definitely cover in 2022. Next question is from Second 44. Which flop protagonist would be the strangest addition to Fortnite? Which I interpret as which character would be the worst at dabbing?
I don't know enough about Fortnite. I mean, it's one of those games about like it's like Minecraft plus PUBG.
Yeah, kind of, I think.
And they dance.
There's a lot of dancing.
So I guess it would have to be somebody who can't dance, can't build anything, and...
Oh, so I know exactly who.
Oh, Build King. Yeah.
Characters from Build King.
Yeah.
Though, yeah, strangest, not worst addition. So what... Maybe... I'm trying to think, man.
I was gonna say Orpheus, but no, Orpheus would fit perfectly in Fortnite.
Oh, the girls from Monster Tamer Girls.
Yeah.
Just 12-year-olds using machine guns.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is from T-Root. Would you review Burn the Witch? So this isn't really a flop. It was a little thanks to maybe as Patreon bonus content. Stay tuned. We'll see if people are interested in that. Next question is also from T-Root because I knew that was going to be a quick question. Are there any series you would say in the first 10 or so podcast episodes you'd re-review and see if they are still bad or better compared to recent topics?
I really want to revisit Golem Hearts.
Yes. Though it's already on our schedule. We will be covering Golem Hearts for our 2-year anniversary. I like the Stephen Colbert method where every year anniversary he does like a +1 and then he has the first guest, second guest, 2 years later and has an hour interview with them. So that's what the thought is. Every year we'll progress, and then so we'll do Golem Hearts next year. We'll do Robot Laser Beam the year after that, and then after that it would be Guardian of the Witch. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Which flop protagonist would be the most likely to get involved with NFTs? Asks Scott.
Jim Naruto.
No, actually, the dude from Neolation.
Yeah, actually.
That's literally his whole shtick.
Yeah. Him or the guy from Phantom Seer, because he just seems like the type of guy who would be a douchebag about how he likes NFTs. But no, you're also right. So does the guy from Neolation, actually. Yeah, no, I think that is the correct call here. I think that... his name was literally Neo. Yeah. So
he probably invented NFTs, and that's what the N stands for.
Neo-fungible
tokens.
Neo-fungible tokens, that's his name.
Yeah, this is
tokens.
Oh, God. These are some good questions. All right, last one is from Adam, aka Agpa, who asks, would you ever cover a flop anime? So the question, I guess, is just how you would define an anime as being a flop, and then also that is a much larger time sink. So I don't know, Jordan, what do you think?
It depends, because, there are anime series like Mars of Destruction where they literally only put out one episode because it just got so fucking panned.
Yeah.
And that's just, one 30-minute episode. So it's not necessarily a huger time sink, but if you're talking about a series that, ran for, say, I don't know, even 10 episodes.
Like
yeah,
X-Arm.
That's a significantly different thing. I wouldn't be against reviewing, maybe a shitty OVA. I would love to talk about MD Geist anytime, but although that was actually weirdly successful. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not against it. It just has to be a specific scenario.
I mean, yeah, and I think that sounds like something that would be fun Patreon content.
Hear that, listeners? You should probably subscribe.
We're so close to doing that MO special.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
And that is all the questions we had for today. Thank you, everyone who submitted. If you want to submit questions, you can always come on the Shonen Flop Discord and submit something to the Q&A thread or the Q&A channel. And as always, our prioritization is if you're a King of the Forest above, if you've never asked a question before, and if we haven't answered one of your questions in the last 5 or 6 so episodes.
Yeah.
Jordan, you ready to go to shoutouts?
Yeah, I'm fucking ready,
let's
man.
fucking do it. Well, Jordan, then, first thing I want to say is thank you so much for all of your hard work editing the Chibi episodes and also helping do the final pass on the main eps.
You're so welcome, David.
I also want to thank Tucker for assistance with pronunciation, translation, other miscellaneous research. He's also helping us now figure out what series to cover, helping us with some research of what's spicy series and if they're translated or not. So that's going to be a really big help in the future. I also want to thank Nicole for helping with social media and Luke for being our community producer. And on that note about the Shonen Flop Discord, be sure to join it. Come hang out with us and talk about anime, games, or whatever else on your mind. We also have a book club and do regular movie nights. You can find a link to it in the show notes. And if you've been enjoying the podcast and want to help us keep going, consider subscribing to our Patreon. We have a ton of awesome perks ranging from exclusive mini episodes, deleted scenes, and you can even help us pick what series we're going to cover next. Find it at patreon.com/shonenflop. And in terms of Yeah. And then in terms of giving shout outs to our patrons, we first want to give a shout out to Pterodactyl Ghost for being a Chainsaw Man level patron. And
what's up, my man? Pterodactyl Ghost.
Fucking absolute Chad legend. And then we want to give a thanks to Gabe, Marty, Mark, T. Wolfwood, Matt, Overrated Apples, and Manji Knights for being King of the Forest.
And ironically, that is totally not Mark. That's a different guy named Mark.
I feel so bad for him now.
Who's also cool. Yeah.
Totally not Mark is very based.
And Mark is even more based.
And then you know who else is also based? Is Tristan Denna, Marabara, Hydra, Dylan, Alexander Zorak, Shingo Sekimoto, Trevor Schechner, Silly Rookie, Yaji Black, Mike Carpenter, and BS for being Galactic Ball Federation officers.
Yes, thank you very much for your service.
And if you're not ready for a regular commitment, consider buying some merch. We have a ton of awesome designs, including the much requested Gomez Moon shirt, Mashal Punching Harry Potter shirts, along with cover art from each of our episodes, and a portion of the proceeds goes to the original artist. And no worries though, if you can't help the show financially, if you can just recommend the show to a friend, it really means a ton to us. We've seen a lot of terrific growth, and we wouldn't have gotten where we are without people telling their friends about the show. You can find us on Twitter at ShonenFlopcast and our website, ShonenFlop.com. Jordan is hard at work making a brand new website, so we're super excited about that. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcast.
And with that, David, say it.
Keep on flopping, floppers.
Bye.
Bye.